the InspireMe show.
The entertainment section of the InspireMe show.
This is the InspireMe show sponsored by Rich Media. Now that's beautiful people, a lovely day to you. I am Vanessa Yvette Katakiti. I'm back again and I'm bringing you another edition of the InspireMe show. Step back from the pressures of your society. Relax and let's dive into dating, friendship and courtship. With me here is a father of the youth, a counselor to all. As we discuss courtship in this generation, he is Mr. Amos Kevin-Annan. You're welcome.
Thank you,
Mr.
Vanessa.
Kevin, to the InspireMe show.
Vanessa.
Yeah,
Vanessa.
Yes. You're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Mr. Kevin-Annan, what is your inspiration behind you being a counselor?
Well, thank you for asking. I think that we all bear in mind and we do acknowledge that the world is full of troubles and difficulties, and not many people are able to sustain their balance in terms of when they are confronted with issues. And so out of the need to provide a support for people, we responded to the invitation to stand along people who are broken, who are bitter, who have been exploited in this life. And my great inspiration is this, that life is a journey between two nakedness. You are born naked and you go naked.
What happens while enjoying the dynamics of pressure-free relationship in we youth nowadays?
Now, to enjoy a pressure-free relationship, I would think that first and foremost, the people should have a clear mind with respect to what it is that they're doing. And secondly, they must have a set of values or principles that undergird the decisions and choices that they make. Also, finally, I'll say that when it is that they do so and not destroy their own standards, they must have clear standards that they live by, and as they do so, they will be able to live a pressure-free relationship.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so before we continue, let's hear the views of the youth, what dating is all about and its purpose. To the sociotainment, over to Maria.
Hello, lovely people of Ghana. Simply Maria is back again, bringing you the second season of the sociotainment section of the InspireMe show. Chale, as for this season, dear, no darling cry. Yeah, but same rough. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Well, viewers, I know this topic is one of the topics you've long waited for, and today we are going to dissect, bisect, monosect, and sexect this topic to your understanding. What is your definition of dating? Let's hear their views. Stay tuned. Well, as I already told you, today we are going to talk about dating, the youth and dating. And standing right beside me is Mr. Paul, one of the lecturers at Pentecost University College. Mr. Paul, you are most welcome.
Thank you.
Is it okay to kiss in your relationship?
Kiss in a
romantic relationship?
Why would you even want to have a romantic relationship in the first place? Because you are in school. Well, you have to think of STDs, you have to think of pregnancy, you have to think of your books. And on top of that, in a Christian university, it is demoralized. It is not a moral thing to do. So why would you even first of all have a romantic relationship and even get to think of kissing?
Vicky here is a communication student of Pentecost University College, and she is the master behind my makeup. Vicky, you're most welcome.
Thank you.
What's your nickname?
Tori Bellam.
Okay, so Vicky, I have some few questions to ask you.
Okay.
How normal is it to have sex in your relationship, or is it right or wrong to have sex in your relationship?
I think it's very, very wrong because even after marriage, some people still find it very difficult. So I think it should be, kept for marriage and everything.
Right. Well, Enonam is my next guest, and she is a married woman, so she's going to give us her comments about dating. Enonam, you're most welcome.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Enonam, what are some of the dangers in having sex in a relationship?
The danger is you have unwanted pregnancy, and which is very bad. And from there you can go like, let me go and terminate this pregnancy, and God is against it.
Okay, so you're married, right?
Yes, please.
So how were you able to know that the man you married is the choice for you, or is God's choice for you?
I was able to know because he's transparent to me and he's just too sincere to me.
He's just too sincere to
me.
Okay. Well, Philip here is an accounting student of Pentecost University College. Philip, you are most welcome.
Oh, thank you, Emifa. Yeah.
Is it okay for a girl to have sex in her relationship? Well, you are dating.
Yeah.
So is it normal for you to have sex with your girlfriend?
To me, it's not normal. To me, it's not okay. I don't agree to that. I'm not a party to that.
Okay. Finally, a word of encouragement to every youth watching us right now concerning the topic dating.
I think if you want to date, you should rather take your time. God is in the process of making you better and bringing you someone even far better than what you're seeing or who you are seeing in school. If you're in school, concentrate on your books, concentrate on things that would develop your mind, your heart, and the hand rather than love issues. I think there's more time to concentrate on love than when you're in school. Yeah.
Please, the youth outside should be straightforward. If you are dating, stick to the person you are dating. Don't double date.
Philip, a word of encouragement to every youth watching us right now. People you know, your friends and everyone. Give a word of encouragement to them.
Okay, actually I'm a bit of a funny person, so I would like to switch into the funny part. Alright, those in the housing, yells, and I spoken like Jennifer, to not to underestimate person. I can say I'm a Jennifer cousin, brother, Hansi cousin. Yeah, so those people in the housing that wants to dating or he wants to do quite simple.
Yeah.
You people not going into sensing style. This is not taking sensing. Just saying, take your time, small. You do it gradual processing. Yes. So you have to take it small. So that it's not do anything as a student, you should not do anything bad. Right. So I say hi to my family people, daddy, mummies, in the friendship, everybody. I say hi in you. All right.
Okay, that was Philip, and if you don't know, he's a second version of Jennifer. That was just by the way, and as you already know, my name is Simply Maria, and I brought you the socialtainment section on the InspireMe show. Well, you heard their views. What is your definition of dating too? Send us your comments via Instagram, Facebook, or our social media pages. My makeup was by Tori Bellam, and my lovely outfit was by Nadash Fashion. Till we meet again, it's bye-bye for now. Yeah, say baby, yeah. Back to next.
Mastercraft on the beat. So thank you, Maria. Mr. Kevin-Annan, what is, I'm sure the youth out there has said something, and what is the purpose of dating?
Well, dating, if you're using the word dating in its real sense, it should be some kind of an appointment. Like as we sit here, we have a date for a conversation. And so it's not necessarily a romantic activity. Unfortunately, for a lot of young men and women, what you see is that they go into a romantic activity, and it is that romantic activity they describe as dating. What you see today is that there's a mixture of romanticization and friendship, and that creates a major problem. Ordinarily, it should be an appointment, you're getting to know somebody, you warm yourself into the person, and there's nothing such as we want to marry.
Okay.
Because that is for those who are courting.
Okay, so what goes into courtship?
Well, when you're talking about courtship, now you're talking about a completely different thing compared to dating. People who are courting, they are one step away from marriage. These are people who are taking a decision to settle down. And so they literally had created a court, okay, in which they take decisions, they plan, they work towards a certain goal, and the goal will be towards marriage. But those who are dating, it's a fluid situation. You put it in any container and it takes the shape of a container that you put it in, just like the amoeba. If you did biology, general science, you might have read about the amoeba. The amoeba takes the shape of every container that you put it in. And so is dating. Dating should be fluid, just like friendship. Now, if you're courting, then it means you're settling down. You have told yourself that I've taken a decision, I'm dedicated to this decision, and then I'm working towards this destination. So those things are very important.
Okay, so with what you've said, how do this generation now see courtship?
Well, unfortunately, because there's a whole mixture, there's a blend of everything, and you can't have a clear delineation between friendship, dating, courtship, and marriage. There is a convolution. All of them have been mixed up, and so you find people who are friends, but they say they're dating. You see those who are courting, and they live as though they are married. Then you see people who are married and they live as though they are not married and they want to be single. So there's a whole element of confusion that surrounds these issues. And I think that if those things are done away with or minimized, the impact of friendship and relationships and marital decisions will be far better than what we see right now.
Okay, so how should a youth out there watching this right now approach dating courtship?
Well, I have always said that people should first focus on building friendships. Friendships tend to be very innocent. You don't have a lot of hidden motives, undisclosed agenda before they decide to say we are developing a relationship, which many would describe as dating. You need to build friendship and then grow it into a relationship, and then let that relationship, not all relationship ends up in marriage. And so people have to be discreet and be very decisive in terms of what it is that they're doing. So if you know that it's just a friendship, you stay within that confines. If you think it's a relationship for which you want to grow it into marriage, it's possible, but then you've got to be careful and clear what it is that you're doing. And I believe that if people are cautious in how they commit and they are clear in their mind what it is that they're looking for, a lot of the pain and trouble can be done away with.
Okay, so before we continue, I'd like us to go to our outstanding gentleman, Joel Sanko, as he brings us the edutainment segment. This is the InspireMe Show.
The InspireMe Show.
The entertainment section of the InspireMe Show.
This is the InspireMe Show, sponsored by Rich Media. Now that's
Welcome, cherished viewers, to yet another edition of the entertainment segment of the InspireMe Show. On this segment, we are going to talk about social media. We all know the advent of social media was meant for purposes of creating business relationships with others and also linking up with old and lost friends. But right now, this main vision has been adulterated. So our question right now is, are the benefits of social media more than the disadvantages, or the disadvantages more than the advantages? You can send your views to our social media pages, the InspireMe Show, on Facebook and Instagram, and you can subscribe to our our YouTube channel. Before we leave, we have to take this into consideration. We are going to the festive seasons very soon. We shouldn't drink. We should drink less, and then we should drive carefully. We shouldn't mix both. They are very harmful. See you soon.
Mastercraft on the beat. You're watching the InspireMe show, and it is Courtship in This Generation. With me here is Mr. Amos Kevin-Annan. Mr. Kevin-Annan, what should a guy be patient to wait for a response, a proposal response?
Well, a proposal is called a proposal because it is subject to acceptance or decline.
Okay.
Now, or deferment. So if I say I propose to someone, it's either the person will say yes, no, or wait. Give me some time.
Okay.
Now, any young man who is watching this must prepare themselves and position themselves to say, if I propose to a lady, I should be clear in my mind what I'm doing. Don't take it like it's fun, don't take it like some experiment. And so when it is that the person says yes, fine. If they say no, fine. If they say wait, it's even fine.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, we're living in a generation where people can't take no for an answer.
Yeah.
It's either yes or yes. Now, so if somebody gives you an option and says it's either yes or yes, it means you are helpless. You have no choice but to say yes. So people who say yes under pressure, under duress, feeling coerced and manipulated, largely. So there will be the need for those young men out there who want to propose to someone to be clear in their mind what they're doing. Secondly, you've got to be sure that the proposition that you're carrying out, whatever response that comes, you exercise a lot of grace to accept them. And thirdly, in school, you are not too sure when you're going to get married. So if you propose now, let's say you are in level 200 and you propose, can you wait for the next 3, 4, 5 years?
5 years, yeah.
What if the person changes their mind? Those are some of the complex situations about these things.
For a lady, a guy has proposed. What should I look at to? What should I consider before accepting a proposal?
Well, I mean, every human being, more so a lady, would have to have what I call irreducible minimum criteria for selection.
Okay.
The person you are considering or you're looking at must fit into a certain framework. Now, which framework would be a helpmate suitable for you? Now, you know where you are heading. So I would usually admonish students and young people in general that before you think of relationship, you first must have life.
Okay.
To have life means you have vision, you have mission, you have some clear goals and objectives for your life. And whoever comes into your life is supposed to augment, add on to,
Okay.
enhance whatever you have. So can the person enhance what you have? Secondly, are they a marriage material? There are people who can only be classmates and friends and social hangouts, okay? But they cannot be your spouse. You should be clear in your mind what it is that you're looking for. If you're a spiritual person, clearly you should focus on the spirituality of the individual. They shouldn't get spiritual because of you. If they do, once they get you, the spirituality will decline. Thirdly, can I be proud of this fellow when we are out? Can I showcase them publicly? If you marry somebody out of sympathy and cannot showcase them in public, like you go for a dinner, it's a corporate dinner, you want to rise up to a certain level, you need a man or a woman in your life who would enhance your life as well. So if it's somebody you cannot be proud of, then why make that gamble? Finally, I would say that it is somebody who you will be proud to have as the father or mother of your children.
Alright.
If you cannot be too sure this fellow being called my children's dad, then why do you go in for them? Because if you do, for a long time to come, you're going to be miserable.
Okay, in other notes, for me, a lady to be miserable, in order for a male to be patient, to wait for a proposal. In general, what are you telling the youth out there?
Well, my admonition has always been this, that relationships are very important, but they are not ever an emergency. Okay, there's a big difference between an emergency and something which is important. Whatever is important, you work at it, you plan for it, you prepare for them. But the things that are emergencies, they thrust themselves onto you, and you have no choice. You're actually sometimes ill prepared or not prepared at all for those things because they are emergencies. So when people are struck with an emergency situation, there is the CPR, cardiopulmonary resuscitation. CPR. I used to be in the Red Cross, and that's how we're taught mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. A person who goes through emergency intervention needs the cardiopulmonary resuscitation. But if you're going to develop a relationship, you don't need that. It shouldn't be because my friends are in it. It shouldn't be because I'm aging. It couldn't be because there's pressure from home. It couldn't be any other reason other than I'm ready for it. And so I would admonish young men and women to be well prepared, read on the subject of relationships, prepare themselves for it, and get ready for a shock. Because the people you so see as glorious, glamorous, cozy, caring, gentle, they won't be the same when you marry them.
Okay. All right. So, well, it's time to wrap up. Before we leave, Mr. Kevin-Annan, can you give us your last words, anything you have for us?
Well, for the young men, I think that finding a faithful man now is a scarce situation. So I want to encourage the young men to stick and stay with the commitments and the promises they make. Don't promise heaven and deliver hell. To the ladies, don't get yourself into a state of paranoia where you are in a frenzy, literally looking for somebody to come and find you. Find life first. Focus on life so that when you go into a relationship or any interaction with a male, it doesn't become a career limiting one. Too many young ladies have sacrificed their career just for a relationship. It's not worth it. You can hold the two together, para passu. And that means that ladies need to understand that now you need to have an income earning stream for yourself as a lady. So you don't go and depend on quote unquote your man to be buying everything. You can together work as a team and achieve the ends. Otherwise, I would say again, it is important to be relational, to be socially connected, but it's not an emergency.
I see you have some books here.
Oh yeah, these are. Yeah, this book is titled "Doing Dating Decently." Going out without getting in, and that was my third booklet. My second booklet is Matters of the Heart. That's why I have my beautiful wife out there with me. And this one I wrote it for women. This was my first book. It's titled "Becoming a Beauty for His Glory." And this one speaks about the kinds of women available and the 3 types of wives.
All right. We have 3 types of wives.
How women's beauty have been bastardized. And if you're a woman, what you should do if you're beautiful. So ultimately, your beauty must give you a reason to bless this generation rather than it become a trap.
Okay, so if people, a youth out there want to get to you?
Well, if you want to reach me on Twitter, it's Kevin_Annan. That's basically on my Twitter handle. And if you want to reach me on Facebook, it's my full name. I have the one for my fan page, and I have the regular Facebook. What else can I give you?
Thank you. Thank you so much. If you want to get in touch with him, as he has said, just get in touch with me and you are going to be blessed. You're going to know more. Thank you so much, Mr. Kevin-Annan, for being with us here. Thank you so much. Thanks, Nadash, for my beautiful outfit, my makeup, Tori Bellam. To my crew, thanks so much, producer Medase, for everything. And to my viewers, you made the show. Thanks so much. You need an inspiration for that aspiration of yours to be attained. So we meet again. Bye-bye.